Good morning. Welcome to the annual Lakota Middle School Awards Day Assembly. Our first set of awards will be to our 5th grade students. These are individual student awards chosen by each teacher. I would like to have Mrs. Boyce please awards. Mrs. Boyce, Outstanding Student in Language Arts, Aaliyah Sheridan, and Most Improved, David Beckley. Those students could come forward at this time. Next, I would like to have Ms. McCullough come up to present her awards. Mrs. McCullough's awards are Outstanding in Language Arts and Most Improved 5th Grade Language Arts. Outstanding Language Arts, Avara Edwards, and Most Improved 5th Grade Language Arts, Elena Wyatt. Next, I would like to have Mrs. Balsizer, 5th grade math. Mrs. Balsizer will be presenting Outstanding Math and Most Improved. Outstanding 5th grade math, Carson Quaintance. Outstanding 5th grade math, Isabel Thomas. And Most Improved 5th grade math, Charles Maxwell. Next, I'd like to bring Mrs. Boyce up again to present her math awards. Outstanding 5th grade math, Mrs. Boyce, Sabrina Perkins, and Most Improved 5th grade math, Novi Maxwell. Next, I'd like to bring Mrs. Salyer up to present her 5th grade award for Outstanding in Science and Most Improved in Science. Outstanding in 5th grade Science, Mrs. Salyer, Carson Quaintance. Outstanding in Science, Grace Sauter. And Most Improved 5th grade Science, Jesse Dirkscheide. Next, I'd like to have Mrs. Henry come up to present her awards, 5th grade social studies. Outstanding 5th grade social studies for Mrs. Henry, Carson Quaintance. And Most Improved social studies, Annabelle Holmes. Next, I'm going to ask Mrs. Connors to sub in for Mr. Newsbaum. Mr. Newsbaum is not here today, so Mrs. Connors is our substitute award giver. Fifth grade, outstanding in physical education for Mr. Newsbaum. Karan, and Aaliyah Sheridan, outstanding in PE class, Mr. Newsbaum. Most improved in physical education, Mr. Newsbaum, Tucker Long, and Adeline Travis. And Aaliyah is not here today to get her award, so we will get her award to her when she comes back on Monday. Next, I'd like to have our band director, Mrs. Brower, come up for her awards. Mrs. Brower has a few awards since, as you know, we divide band a couple days a week into brass, percussion, and woodwinds. So, outstanding brass and percussion, Mason Brubaker, and outstanding brass and percussion, Carson Quaintance. Most improved brass and percussion, Avara Edwards and Carson Hall. Our other section of our band, the woodwinds, we have also outstanding and most improved. Outstanding in woodwinds, Lily David and David Williams. Ivy David. And most improved woodwinds, Abigail Bender and Connor Yannikis. At this time, let's give all our fifth grade individual teachers, students, award winner a big hand. Next, I'd like to bring back Mrs. Connors to present our honor roll and perfect attendance awards. Students, being on the on-year honor roll this year was most challenging given the number of days that students were quarantined out with COVID. So I am really proud to see so many names on our honor roll list this year, given the difficulties that we faced since the start of the school year. These students have earned all-year honor roll. Please wait to the end to applause. Mason Brubaker. We have two students who are in Raider Academy who are also on our honor roll that we would like to recognize that are not here. Milo Hayden and Zoe Johnson, both students again are in Raider Academy. Next we have Gabe Moore, all-year honor roll. Aubrey Payne, Carson Quaintance, and Madison Roche. These are all-year honor roll students. Again, let's give all of our all-year honor roll students a big round of applause. Again, this year, under most circumstances, it would be very difficult to do perfect attendance, but these students were very fortunate to be here every day, and we are very happy to announce we have two students who are in Raider Academy who logged in every day and did the amount of work that we asked. So Milo Hayden and Zoe Johnson, perfect attendance, and 2 students in person, Ashlyn Markle and Shia Smith, perfect attendance. So let's give a round of applause to our perfect attendance in 5th grade. And let's give all of our 5th grade winners a round of applause. All right, next we will do our 6th grade award winners. So first I'm going to ask Mrs. Hushauer to please come to the table for her 2 awards. Mrs. Hushauer has Outstanding 6th Grade Language Arts and Most Improved 6th Grade Language Arts. Our Outstanding 6th Grade Language Arts winner is Xander Burkhalter. And Most Improved Language Arts, Matthew Travis. Again, students, we'll give a big round of applause at the end. At this time, I'd like to ask our substitute award giver, Mrs. Connors, again. Mr. Brickman has 2 individual 6th grade students that are in pre-algebra that we'd like to recognize at this time. So, outstanding in pre-algebra, Haley Hunt and Justin Wonderly, if both of those students could come down. Mr. Brickman would like to be here, but he is teaching his 7th grade class right now. But he wanted me to tell you both congratulations and that he's very proud and very happy to have had both of you this school year. All right, next I'd like to have Mr. Ballsizer step up to the table, please. Mr. Ballsizer has a few awards. The first is Outstanding in Advanced 6th Grade Math, Xander Burkhalter. These are Outstanding 6th Grade Math winners for Mr. Ballsizer: Karina Lay, Emma Reinhart, and Lacey Wallace. Outstanding 6th grade math, Mr. Ballsizer. And most improved 6th grade math, Mr. Ballsizer, is Frank Lopez. Next, again, I'd like to have our favorite substitute award winner, or award hander out, or I should say, Mrs. Connors, come back up for Mrs. Brown. Mrs. Brown, as you know, is out for the rest of the year, but she did want me to send her personal thank you and how proud she is of her 2 award winners. So Mrs. Brown, Outstanding in 6th grade math, Isaiah Weicker. Most Improved, Mrs. Brown, 6th grade math, Camden Rice. And Isaiah is not here today, but we will have his award for him on Monday. And we also have Mrs. Brown's ELA in reading, Most Improved Aiden Manuel, Outstanding is Aiden Manuel, and Most Improved is Brylan Heminger. Again, Mrs. Brown is very proud of our students, and she wishes she could be here to hand these awards out personally. Next, we'll have Mrs. Bentley, 6th grade science. Mrs. Bentley has several awards, so please listen very closely. These are Outstanding in 6th grade science: Jaretta Edwards, Chloe Foose, Haley Hunt, Caitlin Repez, Xavier Wedge. These are outstanding science winners. Mrs. Bentley. Most improved sixth grade science, Bryson Clark, Hunter Cunningham, Laurel Lanaz, and Christina Mohammed. Next, I'd like to have Mrs. Linky for her sixth grade Social Studies Awards come to the table. Outstanding sixth grade Social Studies, Haley Hunt. And most improved sixth grade Social Studies, Sammy Nye. Again, I'd like to have our substitute award passer-outer, Mrs. Connors, come back up for Mr. Newsbaum. These are our sixth grade Outstanding Physical Education Award winners for Mr. Newsbaum. Again, he regrets that he can't be here, but he also wants me to thank you for being such a great class, and he looks forward to seeing all of you back next year in seventh grade. We have two outstanding in Mr. Newsbaum, Bailey Ferguson and Colton Kilby. And we have two improved physical education from Mr. Newsbaum, Brody Hansen and Peyton Myers. Next, I'd like to bring back Mrs. Brower for her Outstanding Brass and Woodwind and Percussion Awards. We'll start with the brass and percussion. Outstanding brass and percussion, sixth grade, Xavier Wedge. And most improved brass and percussion, Bryson Clark. We also have outstanding in woodwinds and most improved in woodwinds. Xander Burkhalter, outstanding in woodwinds. And J.C. Reinbold, most improved woodwinds. Let's give a big round of applause for our individual student teacher winners. Again, sixth grade having all year honor roll this year and beating all the challenges of being absent and all of our COVID protocols, it's very gratifying to see our award winners. We have 3 all year honor roll. Congratulations to Alexander Burkhalter and Haley Hunt and Raider Academy student Bryson Ward. All year honor roll. And again, we do have perfect attendance for sixth grade. Sixth grade perfect attendance, Frank Lopez, Grant Sugar, Lacey Wallace, Sabrina Wallace, and Raider Academy Bryson Ward. Let's give a big round of applause to all of our perfect attendance and honor roll sixth grade. Fifth and sixth grade, we are very proud of all of your accomplishments this year. and we thank you for your hard work and dedication. Hopefully, this will be a year like no other, and when we return in the fall, we will return back to normal, and we will have a very successful year next year with you being in 6th and 7th grade. So one last round of applause for all of our award winners. And at this time, this concludes our 5th and 6th grade portion of the awards ceremony. We ask that you remain seated until we pause the live stream. Thank you very much. Good morning. Welcome to our portion, 7th and 8th grade portion of our annual awards ceremony. This morning we are honoring all of the hard work that our 7th and 8th graders have done this year, and we will start with individual teacher awards. These are awards selected by the teachers, and first awards are Mrs. Clark's awards. Mrs. Clark is not here, but we will have Mrs. Connors, our substitute award presenter, step in for Mrs. Clark. Mrs. Clark wants me to send her personal thank you for all the hard work that her 7th and 8th graders have done this year. She is very proud of all of you, and especially the 7th graders. Looks forward to seeing you next year. So we will start with Mrs. Clark's 7th grade Authors Award. These are Mrs. Clark's outstanding, or I should say, her students that she chooses specifically based upon multiple credentials and reasons that if she were here, she could explain to you, but these are something that Mrs. Clark has traditionally done herself. So, Mrs. Clark's Authors Award, Zella Hendricks, Nora Kretz, and Maya Yannikis. These are 7th grade Mrs. Clark Author Awards. Again, please wait until the end. After all the students have come up, we will do applause. These are Mrs. Clark's 7th grade Outstanding Students, 7th grade, Caden Bursick, Madeline Gilmore, Allison Holman, Donovan Statham, and Jack Widman. These are outstanding 7th grade language arts, Mrs. Clark. And we have most improved Mrs. Clark 7th grade language arts, Mason Eben and Xavier Thomas. Okay, next I'd like to have Mr. McGinnis come forward. These are Mr. McGinnis's 7th grade language arts, outstanding and most improved. If I could have Mr. McGinnis's outstanding, Michaelin Fleckner and Chevelle Rubel. Next, I'd like to bring up Mr. Brickman for his math awards. We will start with Mr. Brickman's Outstanding Pre-Algebra Awards. Outstanding Pre-Algebra, Madeline Gilmore and Brady Tyson. And most improved pre-algebra, Caitlin McDonald, Lexi Moon, and Anthony Newford. If the student is not here, we will make sure they get their award on Monday. Okay, now we have Mr. Brickman's Outstanding Math. We have Brock Adams, Jace Harmon, and Emma Jarovic. Most improved Mr. Brickman 7th grade math, Jade Hines, Stephen Horniak, Charlie Miller, and Scout Paul. Next, I'd like to bring Mr. McGinnis back up. Hopefully he's got his Fitbit on today because we'll be bringing him back and forth. Mr. McGinnis's 7th grade outstanding math, Avery Schilling. And most improved math, Talina Maxwell. Next, I'd like to bring up Mrs. Floro for her 7th grade science awards. Mrs. Floro's 7th grade outstanding science award, Madeline Gilmore, and most improved, Chase Dean. And once again, I'd like to have Mr. McGinnis come back up. Again, he's going to get his work in today. Mr. McGinnis has 7th grade science as well, and he has 2 awards. Outstanding in 7th grade science, Mr. McGinnis, Ava Nordhaus, and most improved science, Leah Nordhaus. Mr. McGinnis, you can stay right here. We got your World Studies program. So, Mr. McGinnis, 7th grade World History, outstanding, Brock Adams. And most improved World History, Nora Kretz. Students, at the beginning of the year, we were offering a VOAG, agricultural science class. Some of you took part in. Mrs. Karoff wishes she could be here, but she is teaching a high school class right now, so I'm going to have Mrs. Connors come up. These are outstanding agricultural science course. This is from the first semester. Allison Holman, and outstanding agricultural science, Stephen Horniak. Mrs. Karoff, this is her first year teaching the agricultural science class to 7th grade, and she said she really enjoyed the group of students who were in that class, so thank you very much. Next, I'd like to have our instrumental director, Mrs. Brower, Director of Instrumental Music, come up. Mrs. Brower has several awards that she would like to present. We will start with outstanding in 7th grade band. We have Lily David. We have most improved 7th grade band, Jaden Duran. And last, most improved band, Chase Her. Mrs. Brower also teaches a course called General Music, and she has 2 award winners in that class as well. Outstanding, Brock Adams and Bennett Ebert. And most improved, Riley Wyant. Next, I'd like to have Mr. Jacoby. Mr. Jacoby is our 7th and 8th grade health teacher. Come to the table. Mr. Jacoby has award winners outstanding and most improved, 2 of each. Outstanding in health, 7th grade, Addie Gilbert and Avery Schilling. Most improved health, Angel Dixon and Talina Maxwell. Next, I'd like to have Mrs. Johnson, our 7th grade informational technologies teacher. Outstanding informational technology, 7th grade, Madeline Gilmore. And an outstanding informational technology, Alex Liskey. Mr. Jacoby, I'll have him come up again for his PE class. Mr. Jacoby's outstanding physical education, Stephen Horniak, and most improved, Michaelin Fleckner. Mr. Jacoby is going to also substitute for Mr. Newsbaum, who is not here. Mr. Newsbaum, outstanding physical education, Brady Tyson and Madeline Gilmore. Most improved, Tyler Morlock and Roxy Zellman. Next, I'd like to have Ms. Gross come up for her 2 awards, Most Improved and Most Improved Reading Strategies class. We have 2 award winners. Most Improved, Kaylee Davidson and Scout Paul. Just put it off to the side, yeah. Thank you. And finally, our last teacher award, Mrs. Johnson, for her STEAM class, which stands for Science, Technology, Education, Arts, and Mathematics. We have 2 award winners, outstanding in STEAM, Madeline Gilmore and Jara Hines. I'd like to have Brady Tyson also come up at this time as well. Students, every year we are asked by an organization called the Sandusky County Youth Leadership to send 2 representatives from Lakota Middle School to this program. This program, along with other schools from Sandusky County, Gibsonburg, etc., they send 2 soon-to-be 8th graders out, and they do community projects, they go into community businesses, and they represent Lakota Middle School. This, for the next year, 2021-2022 school year, Madeline Gilmore and Brady Tyson are our 2 representatives from Lakota. So it is a very special honor that they will represent you and our school when they go out with the other districts and out into the community. So let's give them and all of our individual teacher award winners a big round of applause. Okay, next we move on to the honor roll and perfect attendance. 7th grade, we're going to have Mrs. Connor come up and be our presenter. Students, this year, more than any other year, has been a challenge, not just for attendance, but to maintain your grades, focus, with some of you being quarantined, some of you being out, some of you coming in from Raider Academy. So what I would like to do right now is spend a special thanks to all of the students who have done such an awesome job this year. But these students maintained all year honor roll. 7th grade, Madeline Gilmore, Allison Holman, Stephen Horniak, Emma Jarovic, Caitlin McDonald, Lexi Moon, Ava Nordhaus, Leah Nordhaus, Brady Tyson, and Jack Widman. Again, this year with attendance being a COVID year, it is very nice to see that we do have some award winners in the 7th grade. We have 3 perfect attendance: Brock Adams, Talina Maxwell, And Jack, don't sit down, Widman. At this time, let's give a big round of applause to all of our 7th grade award winners. Next, I would like to recognize our 8th grade award winners. 8th grade students, this year, unfortunately, you did not get to have many of the rites of passage from 8th grade that traditionally happen, but I'm very proud to send this group of students into the high school, and I can tell from all of the middle school staff, 5th through 8th grade, that we are going to miss you a lot. You guys have been an awesome group. So at this time, I'm going to start with Mrs. Clark's Authors Award. Again, I'll have Mrs. Connors come up and stand in. Again, students, please hold your applause to the very end so we can get through this as quick as possible. These are Mrs. Clark's Authors Award, Jet Koppas, Raven Minnick, and Hannah Stahl. 8th grade Authors Award, Mrs. Clark. Next, I'd like to recognize the Outstanding and Most Improved in Mrs. Clark's 8th grade class. Landon Blasi, Outstanding. Morgan Hamilton, Outstanding. Noah Herrig, Outstanding. Most Improved, Aiden Heminger, Abby Hines, and Ian Martinez. We also have an 8th grade English course taught by Mrs. Durr, one of the high school teachers. Again, Mrs. Durr can't be here right now. She is teaching a high school class. She wants me to send her special thank you to her 8th grade class, and she looks forward to having you again when you transition into high school. We have an Outstanding Award, Mrs. Durr, Grant Bomer, and Most Improved, Michaela Eidenhower. Next, I'd like to bring up Mr. Brickman again for his 8th grade award winners. We have several Outstanding and Most Improved. These are Outstanding 8th grade math for Mr. Brickman, Riley King, Kaylin Smith, and Rylan Wonderly. Next, we have Most Improved, Cash Allen, Braden Anderson, Cale Peters, and Blake Tyson. Now I'd like to have Mrs. Gross come back up for her 8th grade award math winner. This is Most Improved, Ariel Warner. Now I'd like to have Mrs. Connors come back up for Mrs. Kramer, who is one of our 8th grade science teachers. Again, she teaches high school courses, but she does also teach one 8th grade class. Mrs. Kramer also says she loved having our 8th grade students this year, and she can't wait to see you again when you come to high school. We have 2 Outstanding 8th grade science for Mrs. Kramer, Morgan Hamilton and Brandon Leal. And Most Improved 8th grade science for Mrs. Kramer, Kayla Tody. Next, I'd like to have Mrs. Floro our other 8th grade science teacher come up, and she has 2 awards for our 8th grade. Outstanding Mrs. Floral's 8th grade science, Landon Blasi, and Most Improved, Michael Hendricks. Okay, I'd like to have Mrs. Connors come back up. Mr. Meek teaches 1 8th grade history course. Again, Mr. Meek's a high school teacher, and he looks forward to seeing you again, all of you who he had this year. He really enjoyed the course. So Mr. Meek has 2 U.S. Studies winners, Outstanding, Simon Roth, and Most Improved, Eli Cyphers. Okay, I have Mrs. Gross come back up again. We have one, Mrs. Gross also teaches an 8th grade world history course, or American history course. And Most Improved in Ms. Gross' class, Savannah Vestal. Next, I'd like to have our Director of Instrumental Music, Mrs. Brower, come back up. We're going to start with the Most Improved for Mrs. Brower's 8th grade band. 8th grade band, as you know, they get to perform with the high school in marching band. So Most Improved, Mrs. Brower, is Hannah Stahl. And a very special award, we have 2 Directors Award winners. We have one for instrumental music band and one for choir. These are very special awards that are chosen by Mrs. Guy and Mrs. Brower. Our 8th grade Directors Award winner for band, let's congratulate Landon Blasi. And Mrs. Brower, again, also teaches a general music course, and she would like to recognize at this time Most Improved for general music, Eli Cyphers. Okay, at this time I'll have Mrs. Connors come back. Again, she's substituting for our teachers that can't be here. This year, we were very fortunate to have Mr. Ray teach a course called Career Connections. 8th grade students next year, that would be my 7th graders. This course is going to be redesigned and is going to be taught by Mr. Lento. So we are very happy that this is Mr. Ray. We'd like to thank him for all of the things he's done with our 8th graders throughout the last couple of years. So Mr. Ray has Outstanding for Career Connections, Noah Herrig, Gavin Quaintance, and Rylan Wonderly. I don't see Mrs. Guy here. She's probably got her high school course. Mrs. Brower will substitute for Mrs. Guy. Mrs. Guy sent this to be read for this year's Director's Award for Show Choir. The Choral Director's Award winner is a special national honor given to one 8th grade student who demonstrates specific qualities within the choral program. These characteristics include passion for music, leadership abilities, unusual musical talent, and solid work ethic. This year's crop of rising freshmen with their outstanding personalities, musical talents, and strengths of character made the selection extremely difficult. So Mrs. Guy turned to the older peers, the high school students, and asked the upperclassmen, who they would recognize for this award. So we are very proud that this year's 2021 National Choral Directors Award winner is Cash Allen. Next, I'd like to have Mr. Jacoby come back up for his 8th grade health award. In the 8th grade, students, as you know, you get both high school credit for health and PE in your 8th grade year, so that means you only have to take it one more time in high school. So this year's Outstanding Health Award winners for Mr. Jacoby, Noah Herrig and Jordan Wedge. Most Improved Health, Abby Hines and Cale Peters. Next, I'd like to recognize Mrs. Johnson to come up for her 8th grade Informational Technology Award winners. This class next year for 7th graders going into 8th grade will be taught by Mr. Ray. So I'd like to thank Mrs. Johnson for all her hard work in getting the 8th grade course up and going and ready to hand off to Mr. Ray next year. We have 2 outstanding for Mrs. Johnson, Landon Blasey and Abriana Coleman. Next, I'd like to have our substitute presenter come back up for Mr. Newsbaum. Mr. Newsbaum could not be here today, but he would like to thank the 8th grade students. He's had you all for the last 4 years. So a special thank you to all of you as you go on to high school and on to Mr. Rosser in the high school PE. We have 2 outstanding PE winners from Mr. Newsbaum, Braden Camp and Rylan Wonderly. Most Improved, Mr. Newsbaum, Hannah Stahl, and Paul Williams. As you know, 8th grade students, you have the option to take high school Spanish, Spanish 1 for high school credit. Miss Hoyle would like to send a special recognition to this year's Spanish 1 outstanding student, Ashton Linke. All right, Mr. Jacoby, sorry you got comfortable. We got one more teacher award. Mr. Jacoby also teaches a course, fitness, weight training. That course is very popular for the 8th graders. We always have a waiting list of students who want to get into it. So this year's Outstanding Weightlifting, Braden Anderson. At this time, let's give all of our individual teacher award winners 8th grade a big round of applause. At this time, I'd like to recognize our honor roll and perfect attendance for the 8th grade. Mrs. Connors will be handing out these awards. Honor roll for 8th grade 2020-2021, Landon Blasey, Grant Bomer, Morgan Hamilton, Noah Herrig, Jet Koppas, Brandon Leal, Ashton Linke, Braxton Quaintance, Bryler Wedge, Jordan Wedge. We also have 2 Perfect Attendance Award winners for the 8th grade. Again, this year, like any other, having perfect attendance was much more difficult. Our 2 award winners for the 8th grade, Logan Emmaheiser and Abby Hines. Now comes to our special 8th grade presidential awards. Dated March 15th, 2021, official White House stationery. Congratulations on receiving your 2021 Presidential Education Award. America is a country where we are and united through tough times. You are the future leaders of this great nation, and through your determination, resilience to push forward, you have reached this ultimate accomplishment of being recognized for this prestigious award. Dr. Biden and I are pleased to congratulate you on receiving the 2020-21 Presidential Education Award. We are honored to join your family, friends, school, and community in celebrating this wonderful achievement. Jill and I send our best wishes and blessings and keep challenging yourself. Be kind, and while we continue to fight COVID-19 pandemic, be sure to stay safe. Signed, President of the United States, Biden. We have two types of awards for the Presidential Award. I will start with the... Okay. We will start with the Presidential Award winners for gold. We have Landon Blasey, Grant Bomer, Morgan Hamilton, Noah Herrig, Brandon Leal, Ashton Linke, and Braxton Quaintance. We have Presidential Award winners silver, Cash Allen, Aubriana Coleman. We would also like to recognize Amberly Dayton. She is Raider Academy student. Claire J., Riley King, Jet Coppice, Kathleen Majerus, who is also a Raider Academy student, Simon Roth, Kaylin Smith, Hannah Stahl, Lane Thacker, Aubrey Vitt, Bryler Wedge, Jordan Wedge, Rylan Wonderly, and Abigail Zolsdorf. Let's give a big round of applause to our 8th grade award winners, all of them. All right. Students, I'd like to break with tradition for a second. We do have one other recognition I'd like to make, if I can have your attention. In case you didn't hear the announcements a couple weeks ago, our junior high track team won the SBC River Division for the boys, and we had several of our girls compete and win championships as well. So I would like to have all of our junior high track team members stand at this time, and we can give you a big round of applause for your championships and your accomplishments. And we have Coach Clark right here. Not to brag or anything, students, but I would just like to say every year that I've been principal, our middle school team has won at least one championship in one athletic event. So thank you very much, track and field. I was getting a little worried here at the end of the year. So let's give all of our 7th and 8th grade a big round of applause, all of our award winners. Again, 8th grade students, this is a bittersweet moment. We've known you for 5 years since you came into the 5th grade. We saw you come out of 4th grade unsure of yourselves, struggling with your lockers, knowing where to go for lunch. And now we are sending you off, and in 4 short years, you will be graduating high school. I'm very proud to send you to high school knowing that you are a very great group of students. And 7th grade students, you have some big shoes to fill when you become the leaders of the school next year. So 8th grade, I'd like to thank you again for all of your hard work through these 4 years. And 7th grade, I cannot wait to see everyone back next year where we can have our traditional dances and pep rallies and everything that makes being in middle school such a unique place. I'd also like to finally thank our wonderful group of teachers who work so hard this year with the new laptops, the new one-to-one devices, and all of the restrictions that they were here every day when many schools were not. So let's give them a big round of applause. And finally, I'd like to thank all of the families that are watching at home for your dedication through this year and trusting us with the most precious resource that you have, which is your son or daughter. And at this time, I'd like to conclude the 7th and 8th grade part of the awards ceremony. Students, please remain seated until the live stream is concluded.